I think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not trust friends.
You're doing Patrick Swayze stuff, and
yeah, it was supposed to be Dirty Dancing today.
Yeah, but no dice. Someone was almost Dirty Dancing in heaven. Too soon. Too soon.
Oi. Yeah. And the best news about all of this is we couldn't pivot very constructively because I was driving from a faraway place.
Yeah.
So we picked the last show that I watched.
No, this is good because honestly, man, like there's part of me that's wanted to talk about Hannibal Lecter. And I didn't want to do it watching Silence of the Lambs exactly, or maybe not right away. Like I wanted to see some of the sort of the off-brand stuff, like from the Lecter franchise, right? Like the thing that kicked
the
off
Lecter
from
universe.
Yeah, the Lecterniverse.
The Lecterverse.
Yeah. Because I don't know, and this has Matt Mikkelsen and so on and so forth. So I was like, okay, yeah.
This is the 2013-2015 3 seasons rated M for mature television program, which has quite the cast, really, and some guest people. By the time I think it picked up some steam by the end of the series here. Or by the end of the season, and it looks like we got some fucking celebrity guests joining in.
Well, it's already so. Anyway, we're this is the Extinction Agenda. I'm James. He's also James.
Yeah,
and we're very good at what we do. Just hang on tight. They the whole thing has like movie actors, like people who like Lawrence Fishburne. And Mads Mikkelsen, those guys make movies. Gillian Anderson is arguably someone who makes movies, but she's a big TV face. I think anytime these guys, and these guys being Bryan Fuller and all the other producers, there's a fucking lot of them. But most of them are show writers and stuff, but we'll get into that. They know enough about TV to like make sure you get a big TV face or even a movie face. Like that goes a long way. I don't know why it does, but it really does. And
it's just its presence. It's what do the kids say nowadays? It's aura, man. You know?
They got the aura. I got it because you really notice it when. So this story is like, what if Hannibal Lecter? Because like we know from the original movie, although I've never read the book, but I understand that this is also in the book. That what's his name? Will Graham? Will
Graham, yes.
Will Graham, played by Hugh Dancy, and he had some sort of relationship with Hannibal Lecter in the past, some sort of close relationship that was never dramatized in the original book. And so this movie this TV show is just like, let's dramatize that space, like it fills up that space of fandom. And so Mads Mikkelsen plays Hannibal Lecter, and Lawrence Fishburne plays the FBI director Crawford. I don't know if he's actually a character in the original books. Scott Thompson shows up. That was very strange.
Oh yeah, nice touch.
Very awkward.
You're not going to slip him past me either.
No. And anyway, and so we were watching like the young adventures of Will Graham and Hannibal Lecter, prior to the beginning of the novels. And all those people with aura, all those big people that we were talking about within this story, it comes across really well. And I'm sure we'll talk about why it comes across really well. But when it comes across badly is anytime any of these like side non-aura actors pop into the scene. Scott Thompson kind of counts. I think we only know about him because of the Kids in the Hall.
Right.
But the woman who plays the forensic, I don't know, whatever the lady who does forensics, she's not great. Someone else who comes in every once in a while is not great. not terrible, but in comparison to like the other people, I was kind of like,
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true when you're not dealing with your whatever top three, and which is Lawrence Fishburne, Mads, Hugh Dancy, who is putting on the performance of a lifetime in this also. And Gillian Anderson, you do have those when those side characters come in. There are not all the time. It's done very well, but I mean there are those moments where the piss is taken out of it. I'm watching Law and Order again.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So this show. So I told myself that I wouldn't like rant about television or whatever, but I mean like for the most part, I take television to be an exercise in one's capacity to just sit still and for like extended periods of time and just ingest something. I think on a basic level, that's what television provides. And obviously, I'm on record. I'm like, oh, I don't really care for that activity, but
there.
But so it takes a little something special for me to be like actually a little like invested. And what I really liked about this show, although I do have like my criticisms or whatever, excellent sound design, excellent set design. No one fucked around on the sets on this thing at any given moment. Even when they had like fuck all to work with and they were in like the autopsy place and all they did was put like a curtain with a light behind it, they did it in a really stylish way. And I really got to fucking give props for that. Also, wardrobe. Hannibal's many shitty, tacky vampire suits are very cool.
Yeah, he's so I guess we can just. I mean, we've already kind of like we're already out there, right? But
Sure.
You can say like, what do you think of Mads? He's so elegant.
I got to measure him against old Anthony Hopkins, and maybe we should also talk about what Hannibal Lecter is, because he's one of the great villains of the 21st century or 20th century, I suppose, right? Like he's genuinely up there. And does Mads, I guess the first question I'll answer is like, does Mads live up to the Anthony Hopkins performance? No, that's fine. I don't need him to, right? Anthony Hopkins is a special beast. He has the aura times 10. Mads is Dr. Lecter is, I think he does a very good job of being like a reptile creature who has no pulse, never gets scared, never responds to things really, unless he's being manipulative. Very well done.
Yeah, and I think that's the fun. I think that's the fun part of the premise of this show, is that Hannibal Lecter is so like Dr. Lecter is so established already. You know who he is. You know what he's capable of. You know what he's going to do. You know that it's all going to be bad.
Yeah.
So it's funny because you're like, even as a writer or producer, you're like, okay, well, what this show has to basically work in. It's like a reverse show. Oh, I already know the guy's a villain. I already know he's going to do bad things. He's going to kill people. He's going to eat them. He's a serial killer. He's going to cast dread on every scene, So what, like, how do you make a show interesting around that? And that's sort of the sandbox you're in, right? Like,
yeah. I think it's telling even in the first, not telling, I guess to your point though, in the first episode, Lecter doesn't show up for 22 minutes, like halfway through the first episode. They don't even mention his name. It's the Will Graham thing. And so they really spend a lot of time making sure that we, and this is where my criticisms start to come in, really get a sense of his autistic powers when Lawrence Fishburne, like when he first meets him and we get, okay. I do like how the superpower that Will Graham has, because he basically has a superpower, basically a clairvoyance or whatever. Like it's complete bullshit. Or like a astral projection or some shit like that. He, the way they depict that is pretty all right. Like honestly, they don't. I only watched 3 episodes, but they didn't. No, I guess they did. Yeah, they always make use of it. It's like going into Sherlock Holmes's memory palace or whatever.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it does have a, it does. There is still, for all the sets, the costumes, the power of the movie actors that this TV show has, there is still like a TV formula, right?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna walk in, we're gonna have our agents, we're gonna say, oh, there's a murder, it's gonna be god awful, and then we're gonna have Will Graham cast his magic power of autism.
Yeah. Are you on the spectrum? When he asked that question, I started to laugh. It's so offensive. I don't know how everybody gets away with this. 2013. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to go on about it because they kind of drop it after a while, and he just becomes, actually, even within that first episode when Lecter encounters him, he's a pure empath, and I don't know. I don't think those two things go together. It doesn't. So I'm willing to accept that the power that Will Graham has is this pure empathy, which amounts to a superpower and a capacity to just rewind time and see how murders happen.
It's funny because it does usually lead to them catching bad guys. But if anything, most of the episodes, even the ones you saw, are akin to a lot of the other ones in that actually the team of savant FBI guys and Dr. Lecter himself are mostly responsible for driving toward who the bad guy is more than Will Graham's fantasy, which helps.
That's interesting.
But it is kind of funny in that they have him lauded as the best at what he does. Kind of, he ends up being like sort of a Wolverine by the end. I don't know if you caught that in episode 8.
I got. Oh, go ahead.
They're just he just rolls up on the scene, and he's obviously having by that point they've established that he, spoiler or whatever, and it's 2013. Christ, he has a swollen brain from
how did that happen?
It happened way back. I went back and so it's episode 9 or 10. He went in for an MRI to a neurologist, and half of his brain was swollen from a virus, like a meningitis or encephalitis. Excuse me.
Okay.
And then he was having hallucinations, so it was ramping up all of his problems, and he was having sweaty fever dreams, sleepwalking, having all kinds of fucking problems. And Lecter and this neurologist found out, and he toyed with the neurologist to make sure that Will Graham wasn't notified of it so that they could study it a little bit further, and then they treat him as needed, and then Lecter butchered the guy.
Right. Okay.
Anyway,
that was missing and then from the previously on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of one of the little that's a little funny thing, but yeah, by that point, prior to that though, Will's when he shows up on the scene, even if he's being a dick or having some kind of mental breakdown, he's always they're always you got anybody that's better at this than me? No, I guess not, Will.
How did he get the encephalitis? Was it from eating Dr. Lecter food?
No. It's not. It just doesn't. I'm not sure. He just gets sicker and sicker.
No, my theory is because when they first meet, so we saw Hannibal Lecter cooking those lungs. And we should talk about food in this show.
Oh yeah.
So he's cooking the lungs, and then he shows up the next day at one of the, I don't know, Will's apartment or something like that, and he brings pre-prepared food, which includes egg and sausage. I think that's when it happened. That makes sense to me. Get some sort of brain infection from being a fucking cannibal.
I like that.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's inexplicable.
I think one of the funniest things is the food treatment in this. That's very different because he's always making these beautiful meals and having people over for dinner, and basically everyone associated with him is like an accessory and is eating humans all through the show.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the fun thing about Hannibal Lecter is like, are they eating humans? Because they might not be. Like when he feeds Gillian Anderson veal, and they have that conversation about veal, you do still wonder, like, is that veal or is that human meat? That's a funny thing about what Lecter represents as a villain like this.
There was a funny one where he had someone over and she refused the first course because it was foie gras. And then on the second course, he said it was just pork, and he said it was a particularly superfluous pig.
Yeah.
And then for her not to worry, and then it showed this guy running through the woods. And just a quick like flash of his memory, and I was like, "That's fucking hilarious!" Like the black comedy is alive and well in this also.
I really liked. Actually, yeah, we can still get to what I wanted to say. I liked episode 8. Episode 8 was a real journey for me. What's it called? It's called fromage.
Fromage, yeah.
They're all named after like fancy food shit. And so I jump into it, and apparently there's I guess there's these guys in a gay relationship, and one of them is a guy who makes violins or stringed instruments, and he's been killing people and using them to make the strings of the stringed instruments. Instead of cat gut, it's human gut, and there's all this preparing of the gut or whatever. I like that. Like this show is fucking grotesque, in really the best way possible. Often, like I think when it leans into the grotesquerie, but is still so pretty to look at, with the wonderful color design and sound design and great actors.
Oh, they run like a lot of like orchestra dread music, which I know is your favorite.
Yeah, no, I noticed the music. I forgot to look up the dude. I was right. So some of this was filmed. This was filmed in Toronto, and I could tell. I saw those buildings, and I was like, "That's fucking here in Toronto." I'm glad I was right about that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know what you mean by the grotesquerie when he's like treating the intestines by hand, like a lot of the cooking too. Like there's a lot of like food prep, and then there's a lot of like just like meat and flaying people, and like they for the record, if you ever watch more of it, they never lighten up on it.
Why would they?
It's a great, and the makeup is outrageous, because like there have been a couple of scenes. I think in the finale, it was the finale
for season 1.
Yeah,
that's Mads and Will go out to the original crime scene, like from episode 1. With the daughter and the dad, and they have a little showdown, and Larry shows up, old Larry Fishburne.
Yeah, there is another episode that we watched that had Lance Hendrickson.
Oh,
and
wow!
He got himself caught on purpose. She's like, "This is my legacy. This is my retirement plan. This is more than I could afford at an old age home. Prison's going to be a luxury." And he's like, do you know why we caught you? And he's like, "'Cause I let you." And he made this fucking meat tower of like 12 bodies, and he buried them all, and they were all in different states of decomposition. And he like erected like a totem pole of like people. And it was like, I actually fucking looked away for a second, because I was like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, just the show really it's something else.
Did you ever buy and I haven't, but this Bryan Fuller guy got the creator, he got his start doing like Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Voyager, and then he like writing scripts for it. He's even very recently written Star Trek shit, so he's a big Trekkie. That's funny to me.
That's awesome.
But he also shit, I didn't write some of these down, like Dead Like Me and Pushing Daisies. There's all these like sort of death centered comedies. Like one of them is about someone dies and apparently they become like a Grim Reaper.
A Dead Like Me is a good show. Is a funny show.
You've
that
seen
was like
it. Okay.
that's an HBO show from or it was like one of the big. It was when TV got big.
2003, yeah.
Yeah, like 24 and
Sure.
What's the cooking meth guys?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. It was that era there. It was one of the breakout shows that got everyone's attention. Weeds, I think, was out at the time too.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the same fella, this Bryan Fuller guy, and just reading through, one of the things when I don't know anything about anybody, I just look up the creator. Like what else have they done? Like how do I put this in context? What do I think about this person? Just seems like death and. Just really interested in death. I guess we can say that. And I was like, okay, Hannibal makes sense for this person.
What'd you think of the Kung Fu? The episode 8 was a mess.
Yeah.
So we did the violin strings. So the guy, he flays open the guy's face and he's treated the guy's vocal cords so that he could play his neck like a violin, which it ends up being like during Will's hallucination where he uses his superpower
and he starts playing it.
Yeah, it's fucking awful. Like you're just like, God, good Lord, what? Who? And I mean, it's funny because I can imagine a writer's room of people being like, okay, like how are we gonna beat that last one?
Yeah,
from episode 8?
What's next? And the special effects coordinators and everything are just amazing. Like this feels. Reading back to the Ben Fuller guy just briefly, Bryan Fuller, sorry. When he was designing, or he says anyway, when he was thinking about this show, he was like, what would I do with Hannibal Lecter if I was David Lynch, and he rhymed off a bunch of other, explicit influences and whatnot, and one of them was Cronenberg, and I didn't really think much of it until now, but I'm like, yeah, that's very Cronenberg, all that like exposed flesh made technology. Yeah,
that's funny. That's a gross influence. Yeah.
So I think the violin thing or the cello or whatever the fuck it is that got shoved through that guy's neck. I don't understand the physics of that, but let's put that.
Well, he just used the part of the cello neck. It showed it, I think, when they were in the lab. It was a little shorter, just to cock his neck open.
Yeah, no, I see it. The symbolism of all of this is it gets. I think what's kind of like definitely in this show's favor is so Hannibal Lecter is usually the cannibal. Is the savage. I know this is all stupid to say, but it's all baked into the character anyway. So It's worth sort of enumerating. The cannibal is usually the savage. It's usually the mindless savage. And so Hannibal Lecter is not the mindless savage. What if the zombie was really smart or the cannibal was really smart and also like manipulative in a sort of vampire fashion. So you kind of get, he's part zombie, he's part vampire. He's part criminal, like part Moriarty. I think those are the three things that kind of coalesce in him.
Yeah, I like that.
And so he becomes, but he's like through his smartness, whatever, he's very civilized. Like, and so he ends up being like a mirror of a dark mirror to civilization itself, which is what makes him a compelling villain. Like this, all the humanism, what if humanism was garbage and it just produced monsters? And, there's an argument to be made that there's truth to that. And this show sticks with that overall theme to some extent, particularly in that episode 8 with the violin thing. However, now we can get to the Kung Fu. It also, while it's doing all that, it's also making a TV show where it is absolutely unafraid to have a Kung Fu fight just break out between a psychologist and a guy who makes violins.
Right. With what appears to be, I guess,
like a human gut.
a cat gut nunchuck.
Yeah, something. He fucking the serial killers are. I kind of feel that this is like kind of like a John Wick society where. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, but serial killers are like just the world literally revolves around them. They can act with a near impunity, so long as they're able to like lie a little bit, but they can just like kill random people and get away with it. They can even make these like elaborate artistic displays with them, ritualistically open them. Like, this is crazy. It's just happening every Tuesday.
It's happening all the time. And the only person that's got a problem with it is poor Will Graham, who has to endure.
No, it's like, and I'm willing to accept it because of I don't always see the Lynchian influence in it, but I definitely see it in the interstitial images when they're doing the scene shot, like the scene establishing shot. You know, we're in Hannibal Lecter's house, we're in Will's house, we're in some sort of house, and they'll have the plants like shake because it's like a really fast stop motion image of it. You know, it gives it this uncanny, eerie quality that is very Lynchian.
Yeah, okay, I see. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it exists in like that kind of fucked up universe. Like you very rarely see people. No, that's not true. I was going to say you very rarely see people outside, but not the case. But it's very enclosed, right? Wherever they are.
It's true, because I find even when a lot of time when Will's outside, he's hallucinating.
That's true.
Hearing things or just he's in like a dream state. It's almost like a fucking Matrix that he goes to, which is funny because of Lawrence Fishburne.
Because of old Larry. That's true.
Jack Crawford's a fuckface too, by the way.
Oh yeah, well he kind of is, yeah, because he wants the story to go away. Like by the end, I watched the beginning of episode 1, season 2. When they immediately just break into another fight between Larry Fishburne and Mads Mikkelsen, just like a straight up weird knife fight.
I haven't seen that far yet.
Oh, what? Wait, haven't you seen this though? Like, you've seen this?
No, well, I never. I never saw it. Maddie, my daughter, became interested because she saw some edits online of Mads and was like, "Oh, he's unique looking, he's handsome, whatever." Yeah. I want to see what other shows is he in, and I was like, "Well, I don't know. He's in a lot of different movies that you probably wouldn't really be interested in." And then she's like, "I saw shows," and then she saw Hugh Dancy, who she liked, who plays Will Graham, and then I was like, "That's Hannibal," and I was like, it's obviously a fairly horrific show, but I was like, there's no sex violence, so I'm like, if you're all right with a lot of horrific makeup, then let's go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you
I think maybe I had watched the pilot way back, probably, and pitched it to you at one point, maybe in 2013, knowing you're not really a TV guy, but I never continued with it.
Yeah. I don't think I would have. I think I made the right choice. I think coming to it now is best for all. Because I'm willing to be patient with it in a way that I probably wouldn't have been back then.
Well, it's hard to like. I mean, I watch a lot of TV shows, and I even among the top tits of overproduced TV shows right now, this is gold with movie actors. So this is kind of it's a really odd duck.
And then there's nothing
you can tell that because you're only going to get 3 seasons, right? You're like, I can't. How long can I keep people like this contracted? Not very long.
I think they maybe. It's also weird to think that this was on NBC. Like everything's really changed, and I don't think that I don't think it did well in the ratings. Like, it got canceled because people weren't watching it. And I think I can understand why. It is an unpleasant show where the main character, everybody's really stupid. Everybody's really fucking stupid. And Hannibal Lecter is able to capitalize on that. And it has its own frustrations.
And I think that there's also like there's an anxiousness to do with Will's portrayal of whatever his mental illness superpower is. That's actually horrible to watch him shake and sweat and have hallucinations all the time.
He's good at it. Yeah,
he's a fucking train wreck, and it's awful to watch. And like awful in a good way. Like the performance is quite good. And then the murders and the realism with the meat, and it's very uncomfortable. It's a really dark. It's a grim fucking dark. It's dark and then layers extra dark on top. And most people are looking for something like I'm starting to think of something. You probably have not seen any of The Mentalist. No. He solves serial killers with like a Sherlock Holmesy observation power,
gotcha.
A superpower. But I mean, I guess you could do Special Victims Unit. That's dark, but like there's levity. This has no levity.
There's justice in those shows. Any of the like, or at least I assume there is in any of your CSI or whatever. Like ultimately, the good guys catch the bad guy.
There's no justice in this. There's only like the weird satisfaction of Hannibal Lecter possibly butchering characters that annoy you and getting away with it, and then you have like sort of a sick sense of victory. It's not really justice.
Yeah. If anything, you end up... I did appreciate how it ended, which was basically an inversion of how we first meet Hannibal Lecter. The first time we meet him, Clarice Starling is coming down that... I was disappointed that they didn't make it as disgusting as Jonathan Demme had made the prison feel in the original, which is a strange thing to say because this show does not skimp on the gross. Like when she went into the first thing, like someone threw her cum at her, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. And then Lecter, she just meets Lecter for the first time. We sort of heard about him. We never encountered him. And so at the end of this, Hannibal walks down and Graham's in the cage. And it's not exactly the same. And I'm glad it wasn't exactly the same, but it was an inversion of... So basically our hero is at his lowest and he's like, I'm gonna climb back. But man, that's tough to climb back from for an audience.
It's funny too, because that whole thing was like, it was really focused on Dr. Lecter's like victory. Like he even like sort of like he did like the Rock's kind of smell thing when the door locked behind him. Like he just really took it in, like it was really stupid. And it was just this, he just like pranced with his down the victory hall sort of, because he framed Will, which is like really planted in the first episode that you really, because of, you have to have a formula to run a serialized TV show, sort of like there's got to be like sort of a little gimmick to it, right? Yeah. And you can really taste it right out of the get, and especially by season or episode 8 that we watched too. You know that the frame up's coming, or that Will's so mentally unstable that Lecter's got him to the point, like a breaking point, and that he's going to eventually like pin shit on him. That's sort of... Yeah, always the threat of it's always at play, and then you're just wondering how they're going to spin it back in the second season. But
yeah, and it's going to be like the show does focus a lot on evidence. They're like, I don't. The evidence decides, and so I think it's going to stick to that sort of ethic. And I think some sort of DNA trace or something is going to be present, and Hannibal's going to have to manipulate FBI agents, and I'm going to want to rip my hair out, because that's like, he's got a little too much of an Iago power. Like the way he just sort of trounces around with the FBI. Like why are they given these powers? Like two psychologists showed up at a construction yard and commandeered boxes of files under the auspices of the FBI. That's crazy. People should have been like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Where's your warrant? Who the fuck are you? And Hannibal just like participates in that world seamlessly. So like that's another thing about this. Like I feel that I'm watching a superhero supervillain drama with really like but it's so condensed into this really like dense, gross world. And I don't know. You'd think that element would appeal, but I get, but again, no justice and no sex, no romance.
No.
There was that kiss briefly.
No, you wouldn't want that. It's not that kind of show. The only sexual tension you want is between Will and Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. Will they, won't they? When I think about Hannibal Lecter, I always like the Anthony Hopkins portrayal. I think about when he's talking to the governor or whatever, and he's like, did you breastfeed or whatever? And she's like, yes, and toughened your nipples, didn't it? And that's sort of like a aggressive, space invading, clownish questioning is missing from this Hannibal. He's not quite enough of a madman. Sometimes I think he's a little too constrained to be.
Well, I think by season, I think when they roll to the end of it, he's going to be arrested and have some theatrical interviews and stuff, and I'd be interesting to. I'll eventually check out one or two of those episodes and see what Mads does with it, or if he just sort of sticks to his guns. He's got his own version, and it's not bad. No,
it's not. I might check it out as well. Honestly, I hope he doesn't try to do an Anthony Hopkins impression by the end. That's not going to go well. Stay in your lane, bro. Overall, like it has it had some steam. I like that it didn't have a lot of episodes either. That goes a long way. Although I did getting to the format of television. So I watched, as we know, episode 1, episode 8, and the final episode of I think 12 episodes, maybe 13. And aside from the fact that I felt I was missing a little bit of information about the encephalitis, I honestly didn't miss a single beat. And I found myself thinking, like, what the fuck did we just do for 10 hours? Like, what this story's not that complex. It's just like they just accordion it out. It must be really like I feel that I'm going to find it really frustrating if I watch it in any format other than first episode, fifth episode, last episode kind of thing.
Yeah. Even actually, it's funny. Even my daughter suggested we watch. She was like, we should do, she was suggesting we do pilot and then 3 finales. And I was like, that's funny. You know what? You probably get everything you needed.
Yeah, I bet. Just about. Although, like, I don't like episode 8 was really choice. Like, with that kung fu fight was.
Well, you could probably. I bet you could skim through the seasons and be like, actually, holy shit, season 2 has very high ratings.
It does, yeah.
I was gonna say you could pick the season 3, not so much. There you can see there's episode 7's got like a high point, and then the finale. So you might be able to skim that one back a bit more.
I'm just gonna watch all the finales. Your daughter's wisdom is the wisdom of the young, and I bet it'll work. I'm a little curious, One time, remember Brian Michael Bendis on Daredevil? Remember those days? I didn't read the first issue of that. I read like trade through to like one issue of the equivalent of the second trade, and I was like, what this is so cool. And I was like, I got to read all this stuff. I got to catch up. If something's good, it'll make me catch up. But it's
yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you get into the. There are episodes where I'm like, you're towing the formula. Like there is one where the what's Lawrence Fishburne anyway. Yeah. His wife's got cancer, so they had a bad guy that had some kind of inoperable cancer tumor who was flaying people alive to make them into angels to watch over him because he knew he was dying. And he was hallucinating. People had like flaming skulls for heads. And it was just basically the whole episode was kind of a garbage thing so that they could juxtapose the cancer with the other the cancer in their investigation with the cancer that his wife was hiding from him. And I was like, oh, that's nice writing, but that's that's a TV episode. That's not what I want. I want the big guns, you know. I want the piano nunchucks or the violin skin nunchucks.
Yeah. That stuff that it does stick out like a sore thumb when they do that though. I'm willing to accept it. I understand. That's what happens in this universe.
Well, it's towing there's the nice thing about this one too though is it's not like someone gets murdered and there's a throwaway episode. They do drag their continuity and their narrative through with them. So it's well done in that sense.
Yeah, it's like it straddles a really interesting line between like ultra competent and willing to fuck around. Which is actually like a really, now that I've said it out loud, I'm like, that's actually for a really good place for like they have to make something. This is the something they're making, and every once in a while they're just going to go buck wild with it, but otherwise they're disciplined.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing of it is that even it's like 13 years old, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't.
No, and it's like the practical effects. It looks like it's mostly practical effects and grotesquerie, and like basically like a ominous soundtrack and like a lot of stage presence, and it's aged very well. And I mean, I think that it's a really unique stew for a TV show. That's all you can say about it.
Yeah. The other thing being like if they wouldn't have accordioned it out so much, they wouldn't have needed Hannibal. They wouldn't have needed everybody to be so stupid in order to allow much of the plot to occur. And that's fine. I feel that like particularly with a character like Hannibal, I don't really like when there's stupidity around him.
Because it doesn't lend well to like the Lawrence Fishburne character either.
No,
like if I'm going to have a very it's true because he does come out the worst. Because this is if we're going to do something with like an FBI director who's Jack Crawford here, who's supposed to be like of fame and fortune, the glory of ancient profilers who brings in the best minds to hunt serial killers, and he's an absolute titty. And not to mention the fact that like crazy fucking Will Graham literally handed him the fact that he was framed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that he never, like, Jack Crawford's never going to give that a second thought. You're never going to take that back to you. You're not going to go sit in your car and be like, well, I'm the greatest profiler of all time. What if fucking someone is framing him? What if it's that fucking Hannibal Lecter who's pretty shady?
Whose name is Hannibal Lecter? What a great name. I don't think we've ever talked like it's. Do you know who Hannibal is? In history or whatever.
No.
So he's this dude from Carthage or North Africa, and ancient, and he attacked the Romans supposedly, and instead of coming at them directly across through the sea, he went up into Spain and like traveled through the mountains with like elephants and a whole fucking army, and he like blindsided the Romans and just kicked the shit out of them for a little bit, and he's famous for having done that. And so it has like a sort of gravitas to it. Hannibal's a bad dude, and then Lector has something to do with speech, giving a lecture, but also like a knife, like a Lister knife, which is like a surgeon's tool. It's just a wonderfully crafted name. It's got all sorts of stuff in it to think about.
Yeah, I like that he does like drafting, like drawings in his
Yes.
office.
Yeah.
And then he only sharpened. I don't know if they mention
Sharpens it
that
with
in
the
one of the
scalpel.
episodes.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
first episode, yeah.
they run that throughout. There's 2 or
Oh,
3
no
other
kidding.
episodes where sometimes people come to his office,
Yeah.
and if they're like a little too close to home during his conversations, like if he feels like they're a little bit onto him, you'll see his hand kind of like he'll graze his scalpel instead of his pencil.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's ominous. They did it probably only twice, maybe throughout
Yeah.
the 13 episodes, but it's a neat little touch.
Yeah. And that capacity, that drawing ability, like it used to be something that a gentleman would be able to do, is to do like drawing, like scale drawings and shit like that. It was part of the humanist tradition. So of course he would have that as well, an appreciation poetry and history and fine dining and drafting and all the fine pursuits.
Yeah. His wealth, even his car.
Yeah, where's he getting? Man? His outfits. I already commented
he's the
on
greatest
this,
psychiatrist the world's ever known.
He just has money, just for the sake of having money. It's because all we ever see him with is one patient. I think all I've ever seen him with is one patient. That one who was at the center of the violin dude story.
Yeah. Oh no, he's had a few throughout the season.
Okay, all right.
Mostly he gets interrupted by Will Graham and the FBI director in the middle while he's trying to go home. It's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna check out the last episodes of season 2 and 3 just to see where we ended up, and I'll check Dr. Internet. Usually, like if you watch it tends to be the case. This is what I've noticed with IMDb. The episodes that have the most to do with the main plot tend to also be the best reviewed ones. So you can get the best of both worlds. You can get like the critically acclaimed and narratively important, and you get the whole picture.
Yeah, it's true, because when you start to see the ratings dip down into the 7s or 8s, that would typically we're either dragging the narrative or backfilling some boring story parts, or maybe somebody was on vacation that day.
Yeah. We couldn't get Mads for the day. Fuck. It's an all Will episode.
It's gonna be the annoying journalist episode.
Well, you know what? That's Hannibal for you. The drama, the diva, the gloriousness.
Absolutely. And to your point, it really was the Fannibals that were pulling the show along and giving it the support that a certain someone at the network was not Jen Silk. She was always supportive and always behind the show in a supreme way. But there were forces that were definitely thought, Maz was too weird, too inaccessible, and couldn't see what we all saw which was he is absolutely perfect for the role, and elevated and transformed it and took us to a place that gave us such dignity and elegance that I'm so glad that the Fannibals recognized that and got behind Maz and Hugh.
Yeah, kind of off of that, one thing that it feels like can be said about Hannibal by people who maybe aren't like as entrenched in it is that it feels like a niche show with like niche appeal. But I always like to say that I think it has almost near universal appeal, because critics love it, horror fans love it, fans of queer TV and cinema love it, fandom people love it, prestige TV lovers love it. Like, I need 10 hours to say how many people love Hannibal, 10 years. So I think it's only really a small audience that doesn't love it. What do you think it is about Hannibal that makes it universal in that way, but yet people get this impression that it's more niche than it is?
Well, I think because it's pretentious. At its core, I think that makes it niche, but I love pretension, and I love the opportunity to be poetic, particularly visually. And this felt like at the beginning, the show was, I think much more accessible and much more a television procedural in many ways that I struggled with, because I don't usually watch a lot of procedurals, because I can usually figure out what's going on by the end of the teaser. I need to have like a little bit of mystery, and I think there's something fun about the twists and the turns that aren't easily traceable, but there's something about the movement with top shelf TV that paves the way for a little bit more pretension. And I think that's part of the niche. So you have to sort of be fine with pretension going in. And then on top of that, I think you have to be hinging off of some personal outsider narrative for yourself to access the characters, because it is about outsiders not fitting in. And I think that's definitely a thematic in the stuff that I like to do, is looking at the outsider. And that was, I think, its access point for a lot of people and a lot of the Fannibals who feel othered in their lives in some way. And it's also recalling the history of queer cinema and queer storytelling, that those who know. If you feel othered and you're seeing yourself in these characters, then that is a validation of your place in the world. And I feel like the people who found Hannibal and found themselves in Hannibal deserved a validation. It's fine to be weird. There's something about the Fannibals that there's not rigidity. There's not this heavy-handed structure to protocol. And I think with some of the fandoms, there are these perceptions of protocol that feel controlling or controlled. And this Fannibal movement feels more like free love.